Many of you may have heard the term, ignorance is bliss. While this may be the case for certain situations in life, this is not the case for something as complex as sex. Ignorance can even cause things like incurable STDs, unwanted pregnancies, and sexism surrounding sex. For parents, they may think that if they teach their child about sex, that the child will want to engage in sex sooner. And I understand that it can be a tough conversation to have, but not teaching children about sex can actually cause the problems that I just mentioned. On September 18th, 2017, the staff at the University of Southern California Nursing Department stated research from the Public Library of Science which found that teaching comprehensive sexual education to teens will mean less reports of STD infections and less unwanted pregnancies. Teaching comprehensive sexual education to teens is crucial for the American school curriculum to reduce the amount of teen pregnancies, STDs, and sexism surrounding sex. Today, I will explain to you why comprehensive sexual education is so important for our country. First, I will explain the problems with abstinence-only sexual education. Next, I will explain why comprehensive sexual education is the best choice for America and why the American government should include the public school curriculum to have comprehensive sexual education nationwide. Lastly, I will go over why my solution makes the most sense for the public health of America. To start off, 33 of the 50 states do not require that the information be medically accurate that is taught in sex ed, and only about half of the states even teach sex ed. This is reported by the nursing department at USC. When 66% of the United States does not legally require sex ed to be medically accurate, that leaves a lot of gaps open regarding the quality and the accuracy of this information. That is, if the schools even teach it. Teens are often taught that abstinence is the only way to go, which is not the way to prevent teens from having sex. It can actually lead to the higher amount of teen pregnancies, which in the United States, according to an October 2019 UNICEF online data chart, there are 19 births per 1,000 adolescents, which is a little less than 200,000 teens giving birth every year. Failing to teach adolescents about the responsibilities of sex, like contraception, can lead to a higher amount of STD infections, causing issues among teens and young adults. According to the CDC, each year about 20 million cases of STDs are reported, and 10 million of those cases are from young adults. Another problem with not addressing the maturation of teens is that teens will often not understand what's going on with their peers, which can have them go ask questions to people who have also not had a comprehensive sexual education, which can lead to some sexist misinformation. For example, boys and girls do not learn that if they do decide to engage in sex, that all the people who are involved, anyone who is involved, needs to respect their partner, and anyone in the situation has the right to say no, and that stops right there. I personally have had difficult discussions with my friends who have been in situations where they either felt like they couldn't say no or they weren't listened to. I have also in school had to correct people who were saying things that were sexist that had contributed to rape culture. This is why teens need to learn about consent, and comprehensive sexual education teaches that. An alarming amount of schools in the United States do not address sexual education, and as a result, teens are at risk of getting STDs, unwanted pregnancies, and have a false understanding of the respect they should have in each other in terms of consent. Comprehensive sexual education is a rational and effective way to prevent these issues, but we need the government's help to encourage it. There are many bases that comprehensive sexual education covers that abstinence-only sexual education doesn't talk about. To fix this, the federal government should enact a law to make comprehensive sexual education mandatory across the entire United States, and they should also increase funding for it. First, the proper sexual education curriculum includes information that educates teens in positive sexuality, rather than telling them to ignore it. This is important for teens to not feel like there's something wrong with them, and instead engage in unhealthy habits of shame. The Advocates of Youth website published in January of 2009 that states that comprehensive sexual education teaches adolescents that their sexuality is normal, natural, and healthy. Why in middle school and high school, it's already such a stressful time for these teens. So why would we hold back information that would help them make it a little less stressful? Second, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists in clinical website published an article in 2016 that reports it is important that comprehensive sexual education be medically accurate. And as I mentioned before, most of the states don't even teach medically accurate information. The ACOG also recommends that proper sex ed is taught before puberty and continues later on in life. Lastly, the benefits of this type of sexual education have been proven in families who teach it and the states that require it in schools. The failures have been drastic to the lives affected when sexual education is ignored or it's not medically accurate. It is up to the United States government to make it a federal law to require comprehensive sexual education in the nationwide in the public schools. It is also imperative for our citizens to vote for laws when they are put out so that the Americans can have good information based on the basis of sex. If the government makes laws to make comprehensive sexual education nationwide, taught nationwide, this will increase positive sexuality and the medical accuracy of the classes to reduce the amount of harmful misinformation spread by abstinence-only sexual education. Comprehensive sexual education is an effective way to reduce teens' risk of contracting STDs, having an unplanned pregnancy, and increases knowledge on consent. First, an article posted by Global Citizen on March 30th, 2014, is stated that comprehensive sexual education helps teens make better choices in terms of their own health. And they have actually seen in their research a 40% increase in the use of contraception once teens are actually taught how to use it. Second, proper sexual education can reduce the amount of partners a person has and can actually increase the average age that teens engage in sex. And this is because not answering questions and addressing sex that the teens may have about it can actually reduce the amount of taboo and stigma that there is around it and can actually increase the age that people want to even engage in it. Lastly, by teaching adolescents comprehensive sexual education, they learn the proper ways to engage in sex, like using protection. This is also important for adolescents in the LGBTQ+ community, because although some of them cannot get pregnant based on who they're with or who they are, they still have the possibility of getting STDs. And according to an article published in 2015 on the Planned Parenthood website, it states that LGBTQ+ teens are less likely to use protection and more likely to get STDs as a result of it. For all teens, comprehensive sexual education also educates them on making sure anyone involved in sex is enthusiastically consenting. And it teaches them to own their sexuality and feel more comfortable in it. In conclusion, today I have explained why comprehensive sexual education is a key tool in the education of adolescents in America, and that they should grow up with information that is medically accurate and not ignorance. After teaching you all about the importance of proper sexual education, I hope that you will vote in favor of laws regarding accurate and inclusive sexual education in schools. And should you choose to have kids, or if you already do have kids, I hope that you will be able to teach your kids about proper sexual education to give them proper tools in life to succeed. Thank you.